Alright, cool. So all I'm using here is 80 grit sandpaper, basically, stuck in half. Like you'll get a disc, right? A circle disc, and you'd stick it in half so you have a half circle, right? And then you just tear pieces of it off and then fold that. You see how I have like a little teardrop shape there? You want to keep that bubble there because you can use that and to go in seams like this. This is what you want to use it for. And this is where bodywork gets a little tedious, but it's fun. This is where you get a lot of detail work done, and it's pretty neat. All right, so take your time, do little tedious stuff like this with your seams. Take your time and just do a good job, because this is where detail comes in. And if you do crappy jobs in corners like this and take shortcuts and just not care, it's going to show in your final product. So take your time, make sure you get it nice, fill it out. You're going to have to probably do some more filling, put some Bondo on your fingers, and use your fingers to fill in certain sections, but it's all good. This is what we're doing it for, to do really good jobs and have everything look like a pro job. Once you see this thing finished, you're going to say, wow. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish this up, and we're basically going to finish up laying our Bondo, our second coat of Bondo on this. So we're going to go ahead and sand everything down, give it a second coat of Bondo, and then in the next videos we'll be ready for primer and all that other good stuff. Thanks for watching. Alright, so here's another cool tip. You could basically use a sheetrock knife or a razor blade to cut away corners or Bondo spots that you're trying to carve out. You know what I mean? Especially in corners, just carve it out. Okay, and then you go in there with a piece of sandpaper and finish it off. But this is just another trick. Use tools. Alright, it's the Stone Age here. If you have a sheetrock knife or a razor blade or a knife in your pocket, just use it to cut and to shape. Alright, everything is a tool. Okay, so it's looking really good. Check out this seam here. You can see the dark areas. Those are all the low spots. We're going to mix a little bit more putty now. Fill those areas with our finger quickly, right? Then sand it down, and then fill the rest of our spots or on the bottom here. You can see the bottom part of the body kit. I'm going to fill all that, and then cut it down once more with 80 grit, shape it, and then start priming it and going to the next stages. Alright, so it's looking really good. I'll see you as we move on. Alright, so here is a live example of me sanding the seam out. Right, with our 80 grit, we just rolled, bended the paper. We left that little loop like a teardrop loop, and we're using that to create the curve to sand between our lines here. Now, you don't want to completely fold your sandpaper because you're going to have a sharp edge. What you want to do, the trick is to keep it like a teardrop shape so you can push with your pressure of the paper and get that loop to do the sanding for you. So yeah, there is a lot of sanding involved in doing custom stuff and bodywork. It takes time, but as you get through it, it'll look really, really nice. Alright, so just take your time, go through it, feel the whole process out, feel all the body spots, and just keep going. Alright, it'll eventually smoothen out, it'll eventually look the way you want it to. Just keep on keeping on. Alright. So as you see is a rough draft, I carved this section out right in here to give it that look. I don't know if you could see it finished, but just look at the line, you know, the line finished. That whole seam. I gotta do this side now. I didn't carve that one out yet, but I'm gonna do this one quickly on video camera. Hopefully we could get it. Okay, so this area has to be filled in a little bit up top. Okay, and also this here, we're going to fill it and then we're going to cut it down because all this needs to be cut down. Yeah, let me show you. So if we take a look at it from here, right, we're still high. We're still high in here, so we're going to have to get the Bondo and blend it in up here a little bit. And then reshape this and then fill in here, as well as all the way across. Okay, all in here is looking low right in here because the bottom is a lot thicker. Okay, so we're gonna have to fill all in here up a little bit so we could blend it all in, and then up in here, if you can see, the rest of it's looking good. We just have to fill this in, and if we cut too much, we don't want to cut too much here. We know these are high spots, but they're flush. I can feel it. They're flush. They're not popping out. We didn't cut it down too much. Okay, we got all this cut in here. You could see how it's shaping up. This side's all set. That's all set. So probably another coat or two of Bondo. This is looking good. We're going to fill the middle up one more time. This section we cut. Okay, we may have to change that style, that look over there a little bit. We may have to come in more, make it rounder. We have to come in like this, because this one looks like it comes out like that. And then we sanded all this down. We're just gonna have to fill these little areas, build this up because it broke. That whole top is done. So it's just basically putting more putty on now and shaping it, but it's looking good. It's looking good. The back is going to be, once this thing is all primed up, you're going to see the real shape of the new looking bumper. Okay, but it's getting there. It's looking pretty cool. So I'll see you in the next videos. Alright, so basically our second coat of Bondo right now, filling in the low spots. We're going to make sure we get all the other spots like the seam with our finger, go over everything, and then sand it down again, and we should be probably, you know, in the home stretch. We'll be in the home stretch, almost done and rocking. If you notice, it's starting to lay on really nice now. You're starting to see the flat part of the body panel, how it's molding into one piece. And look at the bottom deck lid area, that bottom strip where it's already, it used to be very ripply. Now all that Bondo there is all filled in and it's all flat looking now. Once it starts looking like that, you know that it's flat, okay? So let's just finish up laying this Bondo on. It's looking really, really good at this point. One more hit down with the DA, get it nice and flat, then we'll block it out, and then you know, ready for primer. So let's keep going.